I literally love how I'm dressed right now. I'm so like, here. Let's take a quick little. This is how I like to be dressed. This. So comfy. Big bag of things. Feeling good. This is such nice weather. I'm so glad I finally came outside. Like, step into the car and it's literally like, whoa, whoa. Hey. All right. What's up? How you doing? Are you hungry? Are you keeping it carbs or what? I hope you are. I hope you are. Which is kind of what I want to talk about today. Not really, but like kind of like carbs have to do with it. So like I guess it kind of has to do with the same thing. But I wanted to talk about why I do not consider myself high carb, low fat anymore. I used to preach, high carb, low fat, you know, like 80-10-10, blah, 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 blah. But I personally never ever like did the calculations of like my daily intake and if I was doing it properly. And so I just thought, you know, as long as I'm keeping it high carb a lot of the time, high fruit, and keeping like the fat low, like minimal, like it's not overdoing my meals, you know, then I thought I can still consider myself that for sure. And then I saw a few videos saying like if you're not like strictly 80-10-10, you cannot consider yourself high carb, low fat. Like that is not the raw till 4 way. If it's not, you know, like exactly as that all the time, then you can't consider yourself that. So I was just like, fuck it. You know what? I'm not gonna label myself. I'm not saying that I am like saying being one of those vegans where I'm like, fuck it, raw till 4, high carb, low fat isn't working. I'm not getting my results like quick enough, so I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna go low carb, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not stupid. Carbs are my best friend. Like sugar is my best friend, literally. Like, you know, my relationship with food, it's fucking amazing. And that's so great. And that's something I'm so proud of, like, finally having, you know, because I always used to have such a shit relationship with food and hate it and always be so scared of it. And now I'm just like, fuck yeah, eating in abundance until I am totally satiated, and it's awesome. But just hearing that, like, I don't know, if your daily caloric intake isn't exactly like 80% carbs, 10% protein, 10% fat, then like you're not high carb, low fat, like you're just vegan or plant-based or whatever. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, I'm not gonna call myself anything anymore. Like maybe, I don't know what Freely's take would be on that. Probably like if you're not doing it, then don't consider yourself that, but I don't really know. I just know that right now, like, I'm doing me and I know what feels good for my body, and that's eating mainly carbs, like getting a lot of my calories mainly from carbs. But I also really like salt and fat and, you know, like healthy fat, like sometimes not healthy fat, but, you know, a little more definitely than Freely eats. I feel really restricted like that. And you know what? I don't feel restricted when I'm somewhere where I have an abundance of ripe fucking good fruit, and where I have food around me, like vegetables and, you know, fruit that tastes fucking good. Like, I'm not saying where I live has shit food, but I'm saying, like, other than bananas, there's no fruit really that I'm wanting to eat, because it's all the process of it being made and shipped over here. None of it is fresh, none of it is organic, like, and the ones that are organic are so overpriced, it's ridiculous. For a little box of like blueberries or raspberries or blackberries, like it's like $4 fucking for like a tiny little thing. And like I don't know, like personally I'm working part-time now, you know, now, you know, and I'm not saying I don't have money whatsoever. I have an abundance of money, definitely. I'm in prosperity all the time. I'm not saying like, oh, it's because that's expensive, because it's not. Like when I was living in Hawaii, I was only spending $60 a week, and that was for like 40 pounds of bananas. Maybe it was 20, just because it was for the week. I can't remember. It was either 20 or 40 pounds, and then we'd get papayas and tomatoes, and we had a huge bag of rice, and that was all. So it was cheap as fuck, and I felt so fucking good. I'm so glad that's how I started like my vegan journey, and that was how I was introduced to this lifestyle, because it was amazing. I will make another video on that. But I don't know, I don't want to feel like, oh my god, is it only like 10% or 10%? Like, yes, I do have you know, I would love to attain a very toned body, but like at the same time, I'm very happy with my body right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty happy for not being able to exercise whatsoever for the last like 2.5 weeks. So just because of my ankle and stuff, I've still been doing yoga the best that I can, but yeah, I just decided not to label myself like that, but I'm not what the fuck word was I just gonna use there? I'm not like dissing or like bad mouthing raw till 4 or high carb low fat, because I know if I were to be somewhere where I had, you know, what, for example, Freely has around her all the time, like such fresh fruit, I can't even talk today, such fresh fruit of so many different varieties, you know, like I don't have that here. And you know what? I'm going to a farmer's market on Saturday morning, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me, and it's gonna be so great, and that's gonna be awesome. But to buy fruit like that in bulk, like I don't know, I'm gonna try it out and see what they have, see what their prices are, because I literally have no idea. Who knows, I could just be like totally not looking in the right places, and then, you know, I can make it work for sure. But for right now, I'm not gonna label it as that, because like if people ask me questions where they're like, oh, well, and they kind of see me eating something and they think I shouldn't be, like, I don't want to have that kind of, I don't want to present that I can't eat anything, or I'm kind of scared of eating things because it'll make me fat or this and that. Like, I love my body, and I definitely care about what my body looks like and what I put in my body, but I don't know, like, I don't know, to eat very strictly and like, you know, very low sodium, very low, like I don't add oil onto anything, I don't buy prepackaged salt, like meals or anything like that by any means, but you know, I see a lot of other YouTubers where like look like they eat so clean, and I just don't want to consider myself as like plant-based, even though a lot of the things I do eat are plant-based, but a lot, you know, sometimes like I like vegan junk like food and stuff like that, and like I think that's okay. So that's why I just don't want to have any confusion, none whatsoever. I still preach high fucking carb, because carbs are life, and you know, you already know what my thing is on that, so I'm not going to get into that. But high carb, raw till 4 will get you the best results that there is. I'm not going to deny that whatsoever, and I know people will probably be like, yeah, well, you're not following that, so you're not going to get a great body, blah blah blah. I'm not focused on my body nearly as much as I used to be, you know what I mean? Like it's not like the number one thing in my head where it's just like, oh my god, if I eat this, am I going to look like this, or like, no. I love food, I love eating, I love my body, I'm happy as fuck, like nothing wrong with that, you know? If you do high carb low fat, that's so fucking awesome. But let me know in the comments below if you like agree with that, you know? If it's not exactly like 80-10-10, then would you still consider yourself high carb low fat? Or do you think it's not right for someone to label themselves as that, even though they may have a little more fat than like what Freely and them represent, which is totally okay, you know what? She knows what makes her body feel the absolute best. And I'm not saying like fat makes me skinny, fat makes me like all these wonderful things. Like I know I'm not gonna get the best results from it, but like my focus is just not on that right now. Like it definitely is daily eating clean, like a majority of the time, smoothies for breakfast, like as many bananas as I care for, you know, and then like pasta, rice, cooked food, good foods, not things that are drenched in oil and like really processed. Like I'm not eating like that, because that makes me feel like absolute crap. But I don't know. So yeah, that's why I don't consider myself high carb low fat anymore. I still consider myself high carb. I'm always going to say high carb because I'm always going to be. You know? So yeah, if you are, you know, if you're someone who considers yourself high carb low fat, and you know, I want to know your opinion like on that in the comments below, and if you would think that people shouldn't consider themselves like high carb low fat, 80-10-10, and like hashtag that and blah blah blah. But then again, I think it's also like representing the movement and the vegan community. Like I feel like there's no such thing as bad publicity when it comes to that. So that's another thing that I thought, but I'm just not gonna really like say that anymore, because then I've gotten, you know, like some questions about it, like, oh, how I eat, like I really want to get toned, blah blah blah, and I don't want my actions to contradict my words and be like, this is how you get really lean, but then I'm kind of eating like crap more times than, you know, like Freely would, for example. I use her as an example because she eats so motherfucking clean, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to say my opinion on that, and yeah, so if you got any commentary on that, definitely leave your comments in the whatever below, and yeah, I would love to conversate about that, because I don't know, I'd like to see your views, why not? So Don't forget to always keep it high carb, low energy, low living. And you want to be high living, am I right? Am I right? So make it high carb. Make it high carb.